Getting a little echo. That's kind of cool.
Oh, fuck. It's the radical dude cast. Anthony, what's up, my man?
Bring a tang. Bring a tang. Bring the tang. Bring the tang to me. I'm thirsty.
I'm thirsty, man.
I'm thirsty for the tang, man.
Got to get that tang. I've taken my money out of my secret tang container. You know, I got that secret drug stash where I keep all my money.
Oh,
it's
for sure.
A fake tang container. Now I just have the tang out as if it's art because no one has tang anymore. I've got a thing of tang on a shelf displayed in my living room like it's Andy Warhol-esque.
Only you and the astronauts, bro.
Yeah, me and the knots. I call them the knots. We are joined. Let me check my notes. A guy named Ari Findling.
Thank you for having me live from New Jersey.
Yeah, man.
Look at this in the bathroom, coming to you live.
He is, for those of you listening audio only, he is in his bathroom,
my half bath,
which is fine. I understand he's
Pretty
a
cool,
man
dude.
with a young baby that is probably asleep, and that makes sense. What does not make sense, Anthony?
Yes.
Why are there golf clubs in the men's restroom?
Hold on. Do you think that we have separate gendered restrooms in my home?
What?
No.
You said me as a man, not men.
Yeah, not in the men's
man.
room, but
Although
I would. Yes, go ahead, Anthony.
How Jewish is your household?
Oh, you think that's what Orthodox people do? Yes.
I have no idea. I just know they do that at the mosque that's near me. They do. Shout out to the mosque in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
But the mosque that's near me, they do that. They have a separate men's and women's door. The doors are equal height, equal width. So no problem there.
Did you think they may be like make the women's door real skinny? Like, hey man, no fatties in this mosque.
That's what I thought they would have done. Exactly, Brendan. Exactly your point. Where it's like, if you want to pray, you got to shed some pounds, my dear.
Yeah, you ladies can come through the male slot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Anthony's confusing men and women with people and handicapped people. I think that's a big difference.
That happens often.
Yeah.
You said that. I'm not getting canceled on your behalf.
That's true.
You said that.
You wouldn't get canceled on my behalf?
What?
That seems pretty shitty. You wouldn't get canceled on my behalf?
No way. You get canceled on your own, my friend.
Okay.
You take your golf clubs and you pitch your own tee.
This is a nice set. Well, here's my bone to pick. Brendan right now has my pitching wedge and my putter in the trunk of his car.
No, I
Let's get into
don't.
that.
No, I don't.
What do you mean you don't?
I don't.
Where is my pitching wedge and my putter?
I'm getting back into golf, so I've removed them from my trunk. They're now in my bag with my clubs.
What the hell? I mean, I got a bag here. No pitching wedge, no putter.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I thought those were gifts.
They were definitely not gifts. They were left in the trunk of your car. I went golfing the other day. I had to borrow a goddamn putter from the mini golf place. I'm playing with like a little yellow putter.
Some of the best putters on the PGA Tour use yellow rubber mini golf putters.
That's not true. That's not true.
It is true. And instead of walking, they drive a bumper boat
over the grass, like a hovercraft.
Yes.
Okay. Listen, facts are facts. I can't argue with that.
All right, you got a full range of clubs there, huh?
Full range, everything from the 3 to the driver without a pitching wedge and a putter.
Yeah, man, I'm looking at them all. That's
Yeah.
pretty good.
I stole them. Whole
From
set.
Odell's?
Nah. When I left Dick's Sporting Goods, I took them right out of the office.
Man, you worked at all the sporting chain stores, huh?
Worked at Dick's, worked at Modell's, worked at Sports Authority in high school.
Oh, man. Sports Authority. R.I.P.
You've been around. You've been around the block in the
around the block.
Retail
In the sports
business.
retail.
Now, tell us, Ari, thank you for joining us on the show. Tell us what that's like.
Working in sporting goods?
Yes.
It's pretty shitty. I'd say it's maybe the worst. People think
wonderful.
It's a great
now,
job.
Anthony,
Hold
what
on.
do you have
I
to
got
say
so
about
much
what
more
Ari
info.
said?
I once saw some people steal quite a bit of sneakers from a Sports Authority. They looked at me, I looked at them, they walked out.
Fascinating. Ari, your response.
I was once told, I got a text from Greg Stone one time that said, I'm going into a Modell's to steal anything. Don't you fucking tell anybody.
Groundbreaking. You heard it here first. Anthony, your rebuttal.
I always wanted to work at a sporting goods store. I think as the years went on, the less I wanted to. But as a kid, man, that seemed like the top job you could have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be surrounded by all those basketballs and all those sneakers and all those hiking vests.
Man, I used to wander into it's crazy where you're like, it's crazy. And now in New York, it's not like this, but it's crazy that there's just a store where you can get like an inflatable kiddie pool. And then like 30 feet away, you can just get a gun. You know what I mean? Like you just get a nice, get a Nerf Whistler football and then be like, you know what I could use while I'm here?
AR-15.
An AR-15 assault rifle.
I got to protect the pool.
I once had to sell a gun, got into a huge fight with the manager. Terrible situation. Real bad.
What happened?
Yeah, tell me this story.
This guy, I'm working the gun counter. I'm working at Dick's Sporting Goods, and I'm working the gun counter. This guy comes up, wants to buy bullets for a handgun, asks me to show him the bullets. He says, I'm like, okay, here are the bullets. And he goes, can you take one out? I take one out. And then he covers up his hands like this, and he picks the bullets up with his fucking sleeves and then goes, all right, I'll take these. And then just walked out. And I tried to like tell my manager, like, hey, we probably shouldn't be selling this guy his bullets if he's scared to put his goddamn fingerprints on them. And I got screamed at that it wasn't my job to say who and shouldn't have bullets.
It sure isn't. You're not the god of bullets, okay? You're going around telling who can have bullets in this country, Ari?
Yeah,
the man didn't want to smudge up his bullets. That's no business of yours or mine.
I do think
it was purely a smudge thing, not a fingerprint thing.
I think it's pretty fun, though, to arbitrarily assign people a number of bullets based on what you see. I mean, to be like, that guy, 6 bullets. I like him.
Yeah.
That guy's 2 bullets. He's got some trust to work on.
Yeah.
How many bullets would you give Brendan and I?
Well, that's a great question, Ari.
I know the answer for me. I've already hung myself. 1. That's all
I'd give
it
him one.
takes.
I'd give Brendan 1 bullet just because I'd like to. I'm curious to see what he'd do with that bullet. I don't think you should have any, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
On site, if I'm the bullet salesman back there, I'm in your position at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go, Brendan, that guy does not need any bullets, but I want to give him 1 because I want to see what happens. He's got.
You slip him one under the counter.
I'd slip him 1.
Yeah.
I'd probably give you 100 bullets.
My man. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want a gun. I just want to collect as many bullets as I can.
Yeah, I feel like you'd put him to good use.
Yeah, make a necklace, give it to my daughter.
Yeah. The last thing I would think is you would put those bullets in a gun. I would definitely think if your daughter wanted to be Rambo one year for Halloween, she'd be the best Rambo on the block because of you.
I mean, I don't have any factual evidence behind this, but I'd say over 80% of bullets purchased don't go in weapons.
Do you ever think like
I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Do you ever think in the jungle, like in war, that a guy is like, you know what? I'm tired of being the one guy that's draped in bullets with the giant gun. You know what I mean? There's always that one
so
guy.
Heavy.
Do you ever think he's like, could someone else take this duty for a day? I'm just the guy with giant bullets hanging off of me, and everyone else has got a full sleeve shirt. My sleeves are cut off. I'm carrying around a goddamn fucking howitzer. You know, Jesus Christ, slow down a little bit, fellas.
He's like, you guys said we'd switch. Here I am every day carrying these things.
Yeah. Why can't I be the guy with the funny thing written on his helmet?
Yeah, I've been the guy with the radio. I think the guy with the radio's got a lot of power.
Oh, that radio guy with the radio stuck to the helmet? Oh, yeah. That guy does have a lot of power.
He dies first, but that's what I want. That's what I want for my legacy, you know?
Yeah. Go ahead, Brenda.
Well, you go ahead, please, Anthony. I cut you off.
No, that's okay. Anytime that happens, I forget instantly the thought that I had.
As do I, my friend.
You have to
Same
go.
page.
You gotta go immediately. What I was thinking about, and this is tangential, what Brenda was saying, is ears are kind of the only thing that these tribal leaders wear around their necks, huh?
Ears?
Yeah, they don't do any other body parts. I guess fingers.
I think it depends. Ears was, you always in the movies, you would see like the guy who went crazy in Vietnam would collect ears. So you'd had like American soldiers collecting ears. There's this satirical
Ari's in disbelief.
I don't understand. They kill the Vietnamese people and then they cut their ears off?
Yeah, what's not to understand about that? It's
why would they do that? Why did they do that?
They were in war and they were They were bloodthirsty. They had bloodlust.
So now they suck the ears?
No, they would make You've never heard the myth of guy with the ear necklace?
No, there's a myth called the myth of the guy with the ear necklace.
It's not even a myth. About half the soldiers came home with ear necklaces and they gave them to their sweethearts. And they talked to the guys they killed.
Did your dad have an ear necklace?
No, my dad wasn't in the shit. He was in 2 battles. That's it. And they were very minor. I always remind him of that.
Did you look up the casualties?
What? No, I didn't look up casualties. But, we're missing out on the big one, Anthony.
What's that?
It's not just ears. The biggest one, I think, is scalps.
Oh, yeah. The scalps are so cumbersome to me. Ears, they kind of have an ornamental quality about them, but a scalp is enormous to have around. You can only do one scalp. I've seen people with the multiple scalps. It's too much. It's like an Italian ant. You know what I mean?
They're going to shrivel up. They're going to shrivel up into like a mass, you know? An ear really holds form.
That's very true. Yes, an ear definitely holds form. No, you're 100% right.
Okay. I got lucky.
You're lucky. Yeah. Oh, man.
You ever think there's like a rookie that's just doing it wrong? You know, like Murphy, you're over there collecting toes, you idiot. Yeah, it's ears. Those toes, they're going to be, you can't loop a necklace through a toe very easily. They're too thick.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't hear them. Can't talk to him through a toe, you idiot.
Yeah, I think ears and dicks would be the easiest thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times,
never seen that.
Not a lot of times, just based on one movie I saw, that, they'd cut your dick off and put it in your mouth for other soldiers to see, so to really instill fear. But to me, it's like, once you've cut my dick off, put it wherever you want. I've already lost the game. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't care where you put it. You cut my dick off. In my mouth, frankly, that's probably the safest. Because if someone's going to reattach it, I'd like it, protected.
Once you get it reattached, can you get hard again?
Oh, yeah. What's his name was in pornos?
John Bobbitt?
Yeah. It was called John Bobbitt Uncut. He was in a porno.
That's that's a great name, you know?
Yeah, not a great guy, but a great name.
Why is he a bad guy?
Because his wife cut his dick off because he was abusive.
Oh, really? I thought you just caught him cheating and she fucking hooked it.
Well, cheating's also not good, Ari. I don't know if you're aware of that, but no, he was abusive.
Says the man living in the golf club closet.
Yeah, I'm in the half bath.
It looks like it looks like you're trapped in a very stylish trunk.
Oh, I mean, I've been stuck. I got stuck in a trunk of a car for 4 hours one time. Terrible experience. Horrible.
Wait, is that true?
Yeah.
When was this?
We went camping and some people thought it'd be funny to just lock me in there. You know, I've been locked in a lot of places against my will.
You don't know about Ari's trauma?
No, I do not.
We
won't get too into it.
We can get into it. I don't give a shit.
He was bullied mercilessly as a teenager, and it's really stuck with him. Yeah. Oh, they duct taped him to a chair.
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff.
My God, this was. I thought you were on the sports teams.
Question. Hold on. Can I take a timeout? Are you saying that anybody on a sports team can't be bullied?
They shouldn't be. If you were doing it right, you wouldn't have been.
Yeah, Brendan's right.
All right, time back in. I was on the sports teams, but apparently I was this mythical creature, a la the man with the ears, who got bullied while still being on a sports team.
Wait, the man with the ears? Do you have big ears? I never noticed that about you.
The guy with the necklace.
He's doing a callback to the guy with the ear necklace.
My bad. All right, that was weird funny.
Anthony can't handle callbacks because he's forgotten 10 seconds before.
Yeah, I have goldfish blood in me.
Double timeout. I didn't even mention to our listeners 2 little announcements here. First of all, the reason Greg is not here, Greg's on a little trip, enjoying himself. Internet connection's a bit sketchy. We didn't even mention that, so sorry about that. Second of all, for those of you that are new to the Rad Dudecast coming in through the laugh button, we've got a tremendous amount of content on our Patreon. We do 3 bonus episodes a week. You're not going to find any other podcast that does that. So there's 3 different tiers on our Patreon. Go to patreon.com/raddudecast. Sign up today. Now, Ari, question.
Hit me.
Do you think the bullying was because of your personality? In other words, did you deserve it?
I would say 30% I deserved it.
Yes.
You know, I have a tendency to run my mouth sometimes, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, I would, just talk a lot of shit and didn't really have the confidence to back up the things that I was saying. And they would just, pick on me and I would, whimper and cry and lock myself in closets and stuff.
Wait a minute, though. They duct taped you to a chair. How could you be 30% responsible for that sort of behavior?
No. That not, but the teasing in general.
Oh, sure.
The duct tape, 0% responsible. -10, I would say.
70%.
Responsible?
Minimum. Yes, minimum. I'd like to duct tape you to a chair right now. You were probably annoying people.
Oh, how so? Because I'm a fun-loving guy who loves family and God.
You are a man of faith.
I'm a man of
That's
Christ.
True. That is very true. So wait, so at some point, I mean, I imagine by the time you're in the trunk, you're like, this is no problem. I've been duct taped to chairs before. You want to put me in a trunk for 4 hours, man? I won't bat an eyelash.
See, I was always the guy who'd be like, why don't you just it was like a fun thing where I'd be like, yeah, lock me in the trunk, whatever. And not thinking that they do it for like 3 or 4 hours. So I think when, it escalated, that's why they thought the tape job would be no big deal. But then they started filming it. Then, some water got involved. It was the middle of winter. Things escalated really quickly. Now, a couple of the guys are dead. Some of the other ones are in and out of rehab. Some other ones are failed chefs. Just no one's really the gauntlet of success.
You've really kept tabs on these guys that duct tape you to a chair. You've really followed each and every one of their lives and wallowed in their failures.
If you think that I don't have dossiers on every single person that has wronged me in the 33 years of my life, you'd be wrong. Because I got a full file cabinet of everybody. Open mic comedians who bumped me for other open mic comedians, guys who cut me off in traffic. You two are in there for various crimes you've done to me.
Glad to make the cut.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Excited to be on a list for once. Now,
yeah.
Anthony, tell me what you think about this. I was joking when I said it was 70% your fault that you were duct taped to a chair. That was obviously not your fault. I will say, though, when you say, hey, what if you guys locked me in a trunk and then they lock you in a trunk? That one's a little bit on you.
Okay.
Also, can I point out that you also said I was that guy. As if that's an archetype of guy in a crew. I was the lock me in a trunk guy, and then they do it all.
No, there's the guy who's the clown of the group would be like,
I get that. Okay.
Hey, what if I ran naked through the Hot Topic kind of guy?
Yes. Okay.
That's a lot different than
the lock me in a trunk guy.
What if you guys locked me in a trunk?
Listen,
I've got an idea. You put an apple in my mouth, hog tie me in front of a spit, and I wink like a little piggy for hours.
Listen, if you run enough times naked through Hot Topic, you got to escalate. Okay,
I understand.
Of a Subaru Impreza was really the only thing that I had to do.
I get that. I totally understand that. At some point, I think probably everyone was there. If they're a comedian, at some point they were insufferably trying to be the funniest person in the room.
There was a long period of our childhood where the funniest person that you knew was just the guy who would quote the most movie lines.
Yeah.
No, it was never that for me.
Yeah.
Because, and I think I know why. I really do think that it was because the public school system where I went was very racially diverse. And I honestly think black people are funnier than white people.
Oh, yeah.
And so there were just hilarious kids from the time I hit kindergarten, just hilarious black kids I grew up around. I was always just quiet. I was never the class clown because there was always so many funny dudes around me that I was never really, I was more observational. I was quiet. Like I was funny amongst my friends, but I wasn't really ever like the outspoken trying to be funny guy. I think that came later.
Yes. Same. I agree with you, Brendan. I think, Ari, what you were saying is like, you were no, I lost my train of thought. What I was trying to say was that the funny guy. Oh, this is what the funny guy growing up, for not that I thought it was funny, but they were considered the funny people. They weren't the people that could quote movies. They were like the people that beat up the janitor, like those guys in like North Jersey. That was just like, he's the funniest guy. Shoved our physics teacher's face into the pavement. He's hilarious.
Yeah, I remember there was a guy who threw erasers at a teacher's head at the board, and people gave him a standing ovation. I mean, the funniest person in your school. It was not. There was no comedy or humor involved. It was just whoever was the biggest asshole to anyone of power.
Yeah. Usually assault.
Yes.
Was their joke of choice.
I remember there was a guy who took a baseball bat to the back of the head in like some sort of gang-related fight. People were always like, man, that guy's so funny. I'm like, what's he doing? He just took a pipe to the head. That's it.
Yeah. But Brendan, did you ever go through a period like later on? Because I was the same, just very quiet. And then I think like leaving high school, early years of college is when I was like, I'll do anything for a laugh kind of guy.
Well, you know what I was? I was a big, it wasn't laughs, it was attention, kind of. It was like, especially when I was drinking hard, it was like, first of all, any party I went to, took my shirt off immediately. And just never had a shirt on. Second of all, I would do stuff like, hey, I'm going to fall down these stairs on purpose, and just fall down the stairs on purpose and like almost kill myself and be like, people are loving it. People are loving it. Or
I'm
like,
huge.
Hey man, you think I could jump out this 2nd-story window into that bush? I think I can, and just do it. And like, so it was more because Jackass.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Jackass
huge.
Yeah, man. Jackass was so influential and ruined people's lives. Because once I saw that and I thought it was so funny, that's what I was just like, oh, you could just do that.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you're saying, where it's just like, I got the joke of the year. I'm going to fall down 2 flights of stairs.
I'm sure there's a ton of kids died just trying to be funny that way. I mean, that's why that whole fucking thing before Jackass, because just dumb kids from fucking Bergenfield and Montvale were just sending videos, running shopping carts down the highway.
Do you remember? Did you guys ever watch the movie The Program?
Yeah.
Oh my God, yes.
And that was like multiple people were killed doing. So if you guys haven't seen The Program, it's about a college football team and all this crazy shit they do. There's one point where these 2 guys just spit back and forth into each other's mouths. But they had
me and my buddy's thing.
Yeah, they had this.
I honestly think you were in a sex club when you were younger. I don't even think you had friends.
No, I used to like people. I'd be like, oh, just people spitting this chocolate milk for $20. I'll drink it.
But there was a hazing thing in The Program where they had to lie in the movie where they lied on the highway, a 2-lane highway without a divider. They lied on the double white strip in the middle at nighttime, and multiple people died reenacting that scene because it was so. I don't know what the fucking point is of what I'm saying.
Man, it's so weird that was a scene they chose to reenact. You know what I mean?
Not the head through the fucking window.
Well, that was mainly that guy. I think that guy did the lying on the street and put his head through a window. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the guys in the movie, he had to carry a football around the whole movie. He got off pretty easy.
What I don't know is that none of those things were written into the script. That guy just kept doing it. They were like, we got to put it in the fucking movie.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that because I used to get so excited about any movie made about sports that I would just go see them all. And then I remember watching The Program and being like, oh, I don't like this.
It's a different movie.
It's a different movie. Yeah, man. I was like fresh off Eddie. I was like, oh, that's wild. Yeah. Whoopi Goldberg's the coach of the Knicks. That's what I thought this was going to be. And then The Program was intense. I did not realize.
Nothing to do with sports.
No.
I mean, really nothing.
No, and Wesley Snipes was not in it, which I thought, and later on was like, oh, that's Omar Epps. But at the time, my eyes were blurrier than.
Well, listen, I feel you because up until maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I had no idea that Wesley Snipes was replaced by Omar Epps in Major League 2. No clue. Not even a sniff. I would, if you would have put a gun in my mouth, put me on a lie detector, I would have said absolutely on my daughter's life that he stars in 2 major leagues.
Well, another thing that's crazy is like, what's the story there? Because Wesley Snipes, if you look at his resume, the guy's not turning down a whole lot. So what happened?
He probably wanted a lot of money, probably, if I had to assume,
Really? I mean, how much money does Wesley Snipes get? I mean, that was his prime, I guess.
That was his prime, but Major League was huge. I'd like to believe that he turned down Major League to do 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
That's a good film. Or maybe
Boiling Point.
Passenger. What's the one where he's on the plane?
Oh, man. It's not. Is it? It's not Designated Passenger. No, Passenger 57.
Passenger 57.
Oh, my God. Passenger 57 is a great movie.
Great movie. Wesley Snipes has been in a lot of good movies, but because he went to jail and disappeared for 15 years, no one really recalls him as being a good actor.
Yes.
They're doing he's big comeback. They're doing another Blade.
Ooh, never got into the Blades.
Yeah.
Blade 1 is great. Blade 2, however many else they made, are terrible. But Blade 1's cool. And he has Blade 1 has one of the best ending lines in a movie ever. I can't say it because of my race.
Does he go, I'm Blade?
No, he doesn't. He gives this like very dramatic line, but it's like a very silly line. He goes, I'll just say, instead of the word, you guys, understand what I'm saying. He goes, man, some brother's always trying to ice skate uphill. And then the movie ends.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's great. Right. And there is no Blade remake happening in the works. I said that as part of this new program I'm doing where I try and speak things into reality. So things I want to happen, I announce them. It's a method of positive thinking. I'm a big Blade guy. I'm a big Wesley Snipes guy. I thought if I announced it here first, it might get to the right ears and we might get some movement on this. Finally.
Can I announce a movie then that I want to happen?
Yeah, unlimited movie announcements.
Okay. Coming December 16th, National Treasure 3.
Man.
Wait a second. In the chat from our producer, Blade did get announced last year.
Man.
My method works. And not only does it work, it works retroactively and adjusts the timeline that we're currently living in.
Wow. So we've been living in a Blade remake universe this whole time.
Yeah.
No, we haven't till I said something. Then we've reverted to a Blade.
But he could also just be doing the thing that you're doing,
No, Mike doesn't lie.
No, Mike doesn't lie.
Mike is a good man, R.A. Mike is a truthful man from a great Latin family.
Mike's now sharing the screen. It's Mahershala Ali is going to be the new Blade. They announced it at San Diego Comic-Con, and that's great. I like him. I like his work. But I hope Snipes is at least in it as like his mentor, maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean?
What a hot man. He's a great looking man.
Good looking guy.
Thought you guys were going to leave me hanging there. Come on. I mean, that's a very attractive man.
Well, you're talking to two also very attractive men. So for us, it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. So
see it every day, man. I see it when I walk by the mirror.
Anthony, let me ask you, what's going on with your asshole?
Right now it's on fire because I had a long session in there.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You're wiping with dry toilet paper. You need the Tushy bidet, okay? This thing is fantastic. They're now offering free shipping. Everyone has an ass, including you. Everyone deserves the gift of Tushy, okay? Wiping your butt with dry toilet paper just doesn't get all the shit off. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I'm starting to.
Yeah, you got shit in there. Now, thankfully, there's a new sleek bidet attachment. Now, this is not a $10,000 toilet you buy. It's an attachment that sits on your regular toilet, and it's a fantastic bidet, and it's going to get your ass clean, and it's only $69. They've also got the Tushy Ottoman. That's a little nice, sexy, sleek, cloud-shaped stool. Sits on your toilet, helps everything come out smoothly. That's also only $69. You need both of these things. So go to hellotushy.com/raddude. Get 10% off your order and free shipping. Once again, to get the Tushy bidet and the Tushy Ottoman, go to hellotushy.com/raddude for 10% off and free shipping.
You guys are fucking up something. What are you talking about?
What? Hold on a second.
What?
Is that a known phrase? You guys are up something?
That's an idiom.
You're up something.
You're up something. Maybe you don't ask, but you're up.
Yeah, that is a very Jewish phrase.
Listen, I only have like 8 things, I only know like 8 different phrases, and I just keep circulating them until one hits.
So
what's your baby doing right now?
Oh, I really wish that you didn't say that and we could have seen where Anthony was going with that question, because it would have been real bananas. I mean, really off the reservation. But to answer your question,
hold on, let me interrupt. Anthony and I have worked together quite a bit, and I know the sounds of his ahs, and I know when it's one that's leading to something, and I know when it's one that he's just going to be silent after because he couldn't think of anything. And I think it was that one. Was I wrong, Anthony? Because I don't want to interrupt you.
I didn't have anything. I was scrambling for words, and I was about to say, I saw this little Dutch kid outside the Apple store. This lady said, why the fuck aren't you home? And I just laughing because this little Dutch kid learned that today.
That's better than Ari's baby. Let's get into that. Now,
let's get into the
let me ask you this. So he's alone by himself?
No, he was with his family. But you know how like some European parents, like they're like, you know, they're like they're a whole barrow away from their children.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they give their kids wooden bicycles.
Yeah. So this kid, it was like him and his sister. They might as well have been in the middle of the street. And he was on a skateboard that he clearly was too small to ride. So I don't know. Someone just gave him a skateboard. And then this woman was on the phone screaming at someone on the phone. And she just screamed. She goes, "Why the fuck aren't you home?" And I was just laughing because I was just like, oh, this Dutch kid just learned that today.
Oh, I thought – couple of questions here. First of all, comment. I thought she said that to the Dutch kid because she was like, "No tourism, COVID.
Yeah,
go home, go back to Holland." Oh, did you know this?
Hold on. We can't move past that. What country did you say?
Yeah, the Netherlands is also known as Holland, and Dutch.
You said Howland, like a howl, like a wolf.
Holland, but did you know this? They're getting rid of Holland. They're making a national movement because people are too confused. So it's only going to be the Netherlands, because Holland is technically not the Netherlands. Holland is one part of the Netherlands, but people use it interchangeably. They're getting rid of it.
Where's Amsterdam?
In the Netherlands.
But not in Holland.
I think it is also in Holland. Holland and Amsterdam, Holland and the Netherlands are. That's why it's all. Anytime I get a Dutch person in the audience, I say, "Where do you guys get off having 3 fucking names for one country? You're Dutch, but you're from the Netherlands and you're from Holland. We got
3 names. What are you talking about?
What names do we have?
America.
That's a shortening of the United States of America. We got one name.
America.
No.
USA.
All of that is the United States of America. That's all.
There's a whole different words, Ari. These are whole different words that they're using over there.
But you don't know if in their language, you know, if in Dutch speak, if in Hollandaise or whatever language they speak.
They speak Dutch.
Dutch, sure, if you say so.
I do, and as do they.
I don't know, though. I do like Hollandaise, though. I think they should take Ari up on that.
If in Dutch, they all, Netherlands, Amsterdam, and...
Amsterdam's not related. That's a city. It's the Netherlands, Holland, and Dutch.
Yeah. If that all means the same thing in their language, like America, USA.
It does. It means the same thing in our language.
See?
But it's different words. That's the whole point.
I mean, it's the same word. You don't speak Dutch, so you can't answer it for them.
We'd have to get a Dutch person on this podcast to really iron this out.
I've asked a Dutch person in the audience before. They don't know either. That none of them fucking know. It's crazy. Another thing that's crazy. Let me tell you something else that's crazy.
Hit me.
Why? And then I'll get back because I do have a question about the Apple Store situation. Why are we translating names of countries? How did that come up?
What do you mean?
What's the point? So we call it Germany and Germans call it Deutschland. It's just a made up word. So why wouldn't we also call it Deutschland?
Wait, so they don't refer to it as Germany at all?
No, it's Deutschland.
Is that real?
Yes, yes, for almost every country that speaks a different language. The country, it's Italia, and we call it Italy. It's like, why wouldn't we just call it what they call it? What, we made up a new word for it?
Yeah, we always got to do. We did that with soccer.
Yeah, we did that with Indian people,
Yeah.
But that one we were way off.
Way off.
Oh boy, we were off.
Well, guess what I found out recently?
Indian people are from the Netherlands.
There's a sizable population there. That is true. But I found this out. They don't appreciate being referred to as Native Americans.
What do they want?
Well, the point is, and I think it makes great sense, is they're not Native Americans. They were here before America. So to call them Native Americans is saying like, you're natives of our country, and it's like, no, we're Cherokee or Sioux or whoever we are.
Right.
We were here before there was an America, So saying Native American is a little bit like ridiculous. I don't know. I heard that. I don't know what you can call anything anymore.
Pre-Americans? Is that a word?
I think
That's
indigenous people.
That's pretty good. I got a question. This maybe get me canceled. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So you know how we constantly go back and forth about whether we should refer to African Americans as African Americans or Black people.
Yeah.
Are people going back and forth in that?
Well, I think there's on the news, people it's interchangeable. Black people or African Americans, but like a Black guy in Canada, he's not an African American. He's an African Canadian, right?
Yeah.
But in Canada, they refer to them as African Canadians or African Mexicans or. Do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Well, I will say this.
Me canceled, though, right?
No, I don't think so.
The one thing I can guarantee you is they're not calling anyone African Mexicans.
What if there's a Black guy in Mexico?
Oh, I thought you meant in Canada. I was.
No.
I thought that too, Brendan. To be fair, I thought that too. I thought you were just trailing off, and you kind of just said that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. You actually, that makes sense. I've never heard them preferred. I think it's because, and maybe I'm wrong, but Canada, they didn't have such a crazy racial history that we have.
That makes sense.
So they were like, yeah, you can just call us Black up here, no problem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But down here, we're like, we gotta come up with a whole new thing.
And that's the thing. Canada's been fucking, just coasting off our success for years without accepting any of our guilt. You know what I mean? They get all the benefits of all the work we've put into this continent, and none of that. They haven't had to get their hands dirty.
You're right. Mexico and Canada were complicit.
Yeah,
they knew what was going on
in slavery.
Yes.
Yes,
I am, Ari. I am saying that 100%.
Okay, yeah. I want to be very clear. I do not stand on this hill with them.
Oh, you baby.
No.
You little. That's the kind of attitude that got you duct taped to a chair.
I was kicked out of Canada in 2005. Escorted right to the border. Drove drunk to the border. They don't care.
So you drove drunk to the border, and then you got to the border, and they were like, "You're too drunk. You got to go back."
No, we got kicked. We had like 60 people in 2 hotel rooms. We were destroying the place like a bunch of rock stars. Cops get called. We're all blackout drunk. We're 19 years old in Windsor, Canada. They say you got to get the fuck out. And we're like, okay, we'll leave the hotel. And they're like, no, you got to get the fuck out of the country. So they escorted us to the border. We're all hammered drunk, and we said we can't drive. And we said they're like, we don't care. Get out of the country. We get over to the border. None of us can drive. So 12 cars are parked on the Detroit border of Canada on the side of the road for literally 9 hours. We slept in the cars for 9 hours because we were that fucking drunk, and then drove back to Indiana.
Oh, wait, why were you in Indiana?
That's where I went to school.
Oh, I didn't know you went to school.
Oh,
Man, that's so funny. Wait, so how was it? What was it? Some kind of club?
Well,
The
what was
60
it called?
people.
Oh, a fraternity. It was a big.
Oh,
big,
you're in
big
a
frat guy.
fraternity.
Yeah, well, I
Oh.
figured because of my high school experience,
Yeah.
to a chair, I'd really have to force people to be friends with me.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were going to say you were so used to the hazing rituals that it was just no problem at all for you.
Yeah, listen, once you get duct taped to a chair, there's no problem having some guy put his fist up at your ass,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I never got, I never got kicked out of a country. I did have a drinking in the park citation in Hawaii, which, I guess that's still going. But I skipped town, man. I got out of there.
You've been running from that warrant for 18 years now, baby. They won't track you down.
I'd love you to get arrested. You just land in Kauai. They put you in like the long chains that you can kind of still walk in.
Wait, what the? Oh, I know those chains. Yeah,
shackles.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
Now, I wanted to get back to a couple things. How did you know this boy was Dutch, Anthony?
You could tell.
Yeah,
that's true.
You can tell in the way they walk. They've got a frock to them. Yeah, they walk like little penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assumed he was Dutch, German, Swedish, somewhere in that vicinity. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He was over there.
Yeah, I believe it.
A real Midsommar kind of kid.
Yeah, great movie. I'd live there. Really, a lot of people saw it as a horror movie. I saw it as these people got it figured out. These people have got it figured out. Now, Ari, again, I'd like to ask, what's that baby doing?
Right now?
Yeah.
She's sleeping,
Bring her out.
Well, and the last time I was on the Rad Dude cast, I tried to raise $50 for me to go in and wake her up, and I couldn't get anybody to do it.
Yeah, well, it's not a live podcast. That's the problem, Ari.
What do you mean? This is live.
No.
You stream live in Deutschland.
No, yeah.
Here's maybe why we don't call it the Deutschland, because Deutschland and Dutch, that's a pretty close. Those words are too close to each other. There's no other words like Germany. There's no Schmermany.
That we know of.
It's bringing up good points,
Yeah.
I make a lot of good points here. That's why I'm running for office.
What office? Are you going to do your virtual town halls from your fucking shitter with golf clubs?
Why do you have golf clubs in the bathroom?
Where else are they supposed to go? You got a fucking closet? How many closets do you think I have in this place?
I mean, I don't know. I guess enough for the golf clubs to go anywhere else but the bathroom.
Nah, you got the coats and then the vacuum. There's no room. This is what.
All right, man.
But back to your earlier question. I'm running for comptroller of Hoboken.
You know who I like?
Yeah.
Is this the comptroller? I like the guy who gets to put the stickers on all the gas pumps. You know what I mean? The guy who seals off that the gas pumps are legit.
That's a real job?
Oh, yeah. Frank Russo has been
guy.
doing it in Ohio. Well, because you Jersey boys don't see close up to the pump that often because you got your gas station attendants. Yeah. But there's a guy because, in the old days, they used to rig up the pumps. You know what I mean? So it would say it would say it was giving you a certain amount. They'd rig it so you'd charge you more money.
They'd rig it.
They have to be much like slot machines. They have to be checked and inspected by the county to make sure if it says 1 gallon, it's actually pumping 1 gallon. They used to do a number where they'd rig up their machines so when the machine says 1 gallon. It would actually only give you like 0.85 gallons. So they'd be making a little skim off the top every time. But now I think it's the county auditor, maybe. He gets a sticker, pops it on every one. This thing's been checked. Never get gas from a non-stickered pump.
There was a place in my town that apparently, like up until maybe 5 years ago, everyone knew they were given like stolen gas or something right on Route 4. Everyone knew it. Their prices were like a full $1 lower than everybody else. I mean, it made no sense. They were just like, there was not even like a hut. You know how there's usually a hut near the tanks? There was just a hose sticking out of the ground. I mean, it was really a suspect operation.
I remember having something like that where I used to live in Jersey years ago, where like whenever gas prices were like astronomically high, it wasn't Route 4, but there was a place that was like $1.50 where everybody else. And I just thought they were like friends with. I thought they were friends with the Middle Eastern oil people.
Well, you're friends with a cable guy and he gives you the free
porn. Your understanding was that OPEC sells directly to individual gas stations. There's no middlemen involved whatsoever. Just they're calling individual gas stations. How much oil today? How much 87?
That's a good accent.
Yeah, thank you.
That is what I thought. And I just thought the guy was like a nice guy or something. So they were just like, my friend, for you, much
whatever
less.
You want, baby. Come on.
Yeah. I really did think that.
Nah, that's the way those guys that sell the sea salt in the malls, that's how they operate.
What are the sea? I don't know those guys.
What are you talking about?
You never gone through past in the mall. There's a kiosk. There's a really aggressive Israeli guy going, hey, come to me. Have you ever been to the Dead Sea? Have you been to the Dead Sea? Come here. Come, baby. Come. And then they just slap some lotion on your hand, and they go, look how good this feels. Oh, this is what the Dead Sea feels like, baby. And then they give you good deals on the oil.
I mean, this is clearly a job you did. You just did. You are that guy.
No. Wait. I mean, do I imitate him to my wife to the point where she says you can't sleep in the house anymore? Sure. But I've never worked at this job. You have to be an authentic Israeli from the motherland, you know?
Yeah.
So they're selling the salt from the Dead Sea. They're not selling trips to the Dead Sea.
No. That's a separate kiosk. That's in a shittier mall.
Do you know there was discussions post World War II of Israel being in Alaska?
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. It was honestly on the table. Now there were already Jews settling in where Israel is for biblical reasons and other geographical reasons. But there was discussion post World War II that maybe the sanctuary for the kind of the Jewish what do you call it? Diaspora would be Alaska, and probably would have saved a lot of fights over the years.
Brent and I have talked about this. It makes no sense where Israel is relative to everything that's around it.
Well, it's biblical, you know, that's what it's based on. But it's not a great spot for them.
Terrible spot. We're the only ones with no oil. I mean, everyone else has millions and millions. There's none of it. No oil.
So, I guess they wouldn't have run into trouble in Alaska.
Well, bears.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would not have sit well with the Jewish people I know.
I don't know. What would you rather see, a big polar bear or a thick Jordanian man with an AK-47? What would you rather?
If I'm going off Jewish stereotypes that I know, the AK-47 man.
You'd rather him?
I would.
You guys hate polar bears.
I'm saying the Woody Allen that I'm picturing in my brain.
Hold on. Out of all the Jews, one being on the podcast right now, if you had to get into the head of one Jew, you pick the one with multiple statutory assault allegations.
He's not factoring that in.
It has nothing to do with the voice that goes on in my head about Jewish people in Alaska.
Okay.
But
I would
Israeli
love to
Jews
hear
are different.
you as Woody Allen deciding to go to Alaska.
I've done that too many times on this podcast, and I I hope people don't find those episodes. that is grounds I do not want to walk down anymore.
If you're attacked by a polar bear, now here's the thing about bears, okay? Polar bear is kind of unique amongst bears in that even a grizzly, unless it's a mother with her cubs, but even a grizzly, if it's eaten recently, it'll mostly leave you alone. The thing about polar bears is because first of all, they're not really in Alaska. They may be way up north in Alaska, but they're more. They are in Alaska, I think, but way up north. They're more Arctic. But the thing about polar bears is that food is so scarce where they live that they evolution has caused them to attack anything anytime they see it, because anytime there's an opportunity for food, they have to take it. So a polar bear, if you see a polar bear, it's attacking you. You've only got one chance, okay? Your only chance for survival with a polar bear, if there's a rock nearby, you'll have one chance to sidestep its first swipe and hit it in the head with the rock. And that's your only chance of survival. It's very low rates, but that's your only possible option.
What, you can't outrun it? Yeah, I can't sprint.
Outrun a polar
fast.
bear. My God, man.
Yeah.
What?
Jesus.
I'm clearly the fastest one out of all three of us. I could definitely outrun a polar bear.
We won't even bother addressing that horse shit. But it doesn't matter. Even if you were the fastest of the three of us, which you're not, first of all, you've never seen how fast Anthony is. And I'm definitely faster than you. And Anthony's faster than me. So you're the slowest one here. But you definitely are not faster than a polar bear. Okay? These
Polar bear, man.
What do they run? 30 miles an hour?
Bad news from producer Mike in the chat. I think
everything you said is bullshit. Is that probably
no? My thing was true, but a polar bear's top speed is 18.6 miles per hour.
I could run that.
So we could run that, but not
top speed is 25 miles an hour. That's just average.
Top speed is 25. You can't do 25.
Yeah.
No,
you can't do 25.
But I can sustain longer than a polar bear would.
You're in snow. A polar bear is gonna get you.
You assume I'm in snow. I could be in the fucking Bronx Zoo.
Well, then don't go in there. Then you climb out. That's different.
I'm just saying it's possible that I could outrun a polar bear.
Yeah, anything is possible. Sure.
The old Kevin Garnett argument.
Conditions would have to be. I'm trying to even think about the conditions that there would have to be for you to beat the polar bear.
I'd have to be like on a track in like track shoes. And there'd have to be a gun, like a starting gun.
Well, if that's the case, shoot the fucking bear, man.
Well, I think somebody else has the gun.
Somebody else has a gun. I don't have a gun.
And those guns generally have blanks. Rarely do you see a track meet where they're just firing guns into the air.
Sometimes. It's very rare, but it happens. I don't know. I've never outrun anybody. I'm very slow.
Yeah, I'm not very fast. I'm more quick than I am fast. I think Brendan's fast. I can't remember.
I was above average speed. I am now, carrying a little extra weight. I still would say I could do pretty well in a foot race against sort of similarly aged people. But I was never the fastest guy, but I was always pretty fast.
Yeah.
Could you break 4.7?
I don't know how those numbers work. But yes.
Yeah, no, I was I always thought I was going to be fast because I was so small, and I think people thought I was going to be fast. And then when we did our first grade. Remember, you do it like a race. Every year you would do a race. It was so
yeah, what
strange.
was that about? I do remember that. What were they using those rankings for?
I don't know what those numbers. I don't know what they were doing with that information.
Yeah,
but every year,
I forgot about that.
They just made us race for one day.
Yeah, everyone. I
It was like
forgot about
the
that.
last day of school for you guys?
No.
Oh,
no.
we did it like the last day of school.
No. I don't know how much lead up we had going into the race, but one day was dedicated to racing.
No training, no prep. You just showed up. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was so strange. And I remember it was a cold kind of day, and I was like, man, I'm gonna be fast. I was like, I'm small. Everyone's saying I'm gonna be fast. I'm like, I'm gonna be fast, and I was so slow. It was only me and this other girl, and she was, she was an artist. She was an athlete. It was a terrible blow for me. But I was quick. I'm shifty. I'm very shifty.
Yeah.
I have good lateral quickness, but
that's going to come in handy with the polar bear because you got to dodge that first swipe, hit him with a rock.
Serpentine, yeah.
So Mike just said in the chat, and Mike, you can always feel free to unmute yourself and say this stuff out loud, but Usain Bolt runs 23 miles per hour. So
wow.
You're not so 25 for a polar bear. Nobody's outrunning him. If, okay, maybe the polar bear's injured, or look, there's fast humans and there's slow humans. You can't just say, a polar bear runs 25 miles per hour. There's probably some that run 16, they got
bad arches or something.
Flat feet. Yeah. So, you gotta know who you're up against. Is this an athlete polar bear or more of a mathlete?
Remember when there was that whole thing that Michael Phelps swims versus a shark? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh, they had a whole program that was athletes versus animals.
Yeah, but they never actually swam against the shark. It was like a digital representation of what a shark would be.
Well, because here's the thing. It's very hard to just tell a shark it's in a race. You know what I mean? A shark's going to go wherever it wants.
So put a cadaver at the end of the swim lane for the shark to get.
Even still, he might take his time.
Yeah.
Well, then that's the same thing with humans. A human may get a slow start, and that's his fault. It's the shark's fault for not. It's just like you can't bill that you're swimming against a shark if you don't actually swim against a shark.
To be fair, people were upset on TV that he did not race an actual shark. It was a point of contention.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
See?
Real smart part of the population that was upset Michael Phelps didn't race an actual shark. What are you, crazy? Of course not.
This was Brendan had this great idea for a TV show. I still think it's a good idea.
It was a TV show. He was saying that Man versus Animal was a TV show on Fox.
Different show. Well, hold on. Was it really?
Yes.
I've talked about this in great length about the great Kobayashi going up against a Kodiak bear in a hot dog eating contest. It remains one of the top 5 funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
There was also quite a bit of controversy in that John Bones Jones didn't actually fight 3 wolves. People were upset about that, that was digitalized. They said, this is horse shit. I thought we were going to see a man versus wolf fight.
I thought I was going to see a human murder tonight. Yeah. And here we are.
I'm sure there's, they got all these, underground backyard brawls. We could get some sort of sanctioned fight in Nevada where a guy fights, really stands toe to toe with a kangaroo or something.
Charles Bronson did that. Not Charles Bronson, the actor, the famous Britain's most notorious prisoner. There's a movie with Tom Hardy about him. He changed his name to Charles Bronson when he was a boxer, but he's been in jail forever in Britain. He's just a very violent, very tough man. and he just has all these books published about, and they're all just about doing push-ups all day long. But he would do underground fights, and one of them was he fought 2 Rottweilers. And he won. He beat 2 Rottweilers.
Did he have gloves on or just
no, just bare knuckle, just beat 2 Rottweilers in a fight.
See, if I were fighting 2 Rottweilers, I'd want one. And again, I want to be clear. I don't sanction dog fighting. Okay.
Sure,
well, this isn't dog v dog. That's a different matter. Listen, I don't sanction dog v dog either.
Brendan,
I sanction dog v man.
You
My silence speaks volumes.
It's deafening, your silence. You define dog fighting how you want to define dog fighting. I define dog fighting as man fighting dog. Okay. I would have one fist with a glove and the other fist no glove. So as I were throwing jabs at the Rottweilers, I could use the other glove as like a chew toy to distract them. They get all squishy. Maybe put a squeaky thing in the glove.
Not a bad idea. That is, in fact, I don't know if you're familiar. That is exactly how Art Jimerson came prepared to UFC 1. He literally wore one boxing glove and one bare hand. He was a boxer. He had no experience in no holds barred fighting, and he didn't know what to do. So he wore one glove and one non-glove.
Smart. I get it. I would. Yeah. That's. I would do the same thing. And I can't. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I interrupt you. You go ahead.
No, I just can't believe that he did that.
Well, and I believe he lost. This could be a different guy, but yeah, here Mike's pulling up an art. Yeah, look,
he's wearing basketball shoes too, I think.
Yeah. He was just up for anything.
Yeah,
it's like I don't know what goes on in the octagon, but whatever happens in there, I will be prepared. I brought a calculator.
Yeah. UFC 1 was crazy. The fat guy, wow. there was a big a Hawaiian sumo guy who immediately just got kicked in his face and his teeth came out. And it came out later. He thought the whole thing was going to be fake. And he did so they weren't even telling guys what was going to happen. He thought it was like a professional wrestling. Walks into the fucking octagon and some fucking Dutch guy kicks his teeth out.
I mean, those early UFC tournaments were as close as you can get to completely unsanctioned fighting.
Oh, yeah. You could punch in the dick. It was allowed. There was a fight that a guy lost because he just had him down getting punched in the dick. That guy got his teeth kicked out. God. Yeah.
I remember watching this video of Tank Abbott. You remember Tank Abbott?
Yeah, that was a little later. That was
definitely later. But he's like he's got a guy pinned down. He's just punching him with his right arm. His whole forearm just shatters. You see it go sideways. And he just keeps punching with the shattered arm. And the referee had to stop it because he didn't even know that he fucking broke his arm in half.
Yeah. Now, that is going to do it. Ari, I'd like to rate your performance as a guest host. Pretty good, I'd say. Pretty good. I like what you brought to the table. I especially enjoyed the Israeli salt salesman. I'd say next time we have you back, a little bit more of that. Anthony, any notes?
10 out of 10, man. I thought you smashed it.
Thanks, man. Smash that
And you can follow Ari at what's your socials, Ari?
They call me Ari, spelled AHRI. They call me AHRI on all platforms.
He puts out a ton of funny videos. He does funny videos with his brother. Definitely check it out. And as always, if you're not already, I don't know why you wouldn't be, but subscribe to the Rad Dude Cast. Rate the Rad Dude Cast. That really helps us. If you haven't done that, just take a second, give it a rate, and take 30 seconds and write a little review wherever you get your podcast. That certainly helps us. And of course, patreon.com/Rad Dude Cast for 3 bonus episodes a week. Anthony, what do you got?
Yeah, man, you guys know it all. I'll be at the Mohegan Sun Comics September 10th through the 12th and Acme Comic Club, Minneapolis, Minnesota, September 24th through the 26th.
Oh, yes. I forgot to mention, first of all, check out Anthony at those two locations. I will be headlining Hilarities here in Cleveland this Thursday. So 2 days from when you hear this, Thursday through Saturday, the 20th through the 22nd. They're doing social distancing, all that, limited capacity. Tickets are going to go pretty quick, so get on that. As always, thanks to our producer, Mike. Thanks for listening, guys.
The Rad Dudecast is hosted by Anthony DeVito, Brendan Eyre, and Greg Stone. Original music by Brian Zippert. Produced by Mike Suarez. Executive producers Brendan Eyre, Greg Stone, and Anthony DeVito. Executive producers Matt Kleinschmidt and Robert Kelly for the Laugh Button Podcast.